Portsmouth Marine Terminals is one of the nation's largest importer of spent nuclear fuel, which is then transported to a nuclear plant in Savannah River, South Carolina. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission has changed its regulations regarding the transportation of the material so that it must be accompanied by 2 armed guards when it passes through urban areas such as Tidewater, because the Commission fears the possibility of sabotage. Today, the NRC met with local officials to explain new procedures to safeguard the material, which is shipped in special casks.
NRC has sponsored some work by Sandia Laboratories, which has indicated that the cast is vulnerable to certain terrorist attacks. The possibility of such an attack and the release of radioactive material, which would produce consequences that my agency feels are unacceptable.
You said those consequences aren't acceptable. What are those consequences?
Those consequences depicted a condition in which several hundreds of people in close proximity could die in a relatively short period of time, and several thousands develop latent cancer over a longer period of time.
Burnett says because of the potential danger, the NRC is considering finding alternative sites other than Portsmouth for the importation of the spent nuclear fuel so that the material can be offloaded closer to Savannah River and thus travel across less land. In the meantime, investigators are examining the overland route for security precautions, but an anti-nuclear group, Truth in Power, also in attendance at today's meeting, says that isn't enough.
Well, I'd like to see them. Well, a good first step would be public hearings so that we can find out what the people think about this. It is, after all, the people that are going to be affected by any dangers of radioactive leakage.
As it stands, nuclear material will continue to move through the Tidewater area, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission says it poses very little hazard, unless, of course, there's an accident. If that happens, no one knows the consequences. Mike Deason, Area 10 Eyewitness News.